Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel, or welcome if you're new here. For the video today, I wanted to sit down and share a couple of things that I've noticed as benefits from taking Accutane, apart from clear skin, because obviously that is the given, that's what you want when you take Accutane. I did a bit of a shorter course, kind of 8/9 months, and I'm so happy with the results. Obviously I feel like I did achieve clear skin through this, that's why I'm coming to use sans makeup today. And I'm not going to get too off topic. I obviously do have skin texture and sort of pigmentation still, but the actual skin itself is clear, which I'm just so happy about. I think the clear skin obviously goes hand in hand with improved self-esteem in my case, so I'm just so happy about my results from this medication. But apart from the obvious clear skin, which is such a huge benefit, there were still quite a few things I noticed over the past year and even now that are great benefits as well. Quite a lot of them are habits that formed trying to negate negative side effects and other things which is weird side effects, but I'm just going to get into them. 8 benefits that I got from Accutane apart from clear skin. Number 1 was my increased water intake. So this was obviously to try and combat the dryness as a side effect from Accutane, and I started drinking more water when I found out I was going to start or started the proceedings with the doctor or dermatologist, because I was really trying to avoid as much dry skin as possible. And of course I did realize there's no amount of water in the world you can drink to stop your lips from getting so dry, but certainly it does help to be more hydrated on the medication just to help everything go along smoothly and really help the skin not getting too dry. Plus, in general, it's a good habit to have to keep clear skin, and also something I doubled down on as I came off the medication, just to ensure that my skin continues to stay clear. Number 2 is kind of along the same lines, along with number 3 as well, but number 2 is the moisturising habit that I picked up. I'm always someone who had moisturised their face and neck and hands as and when I needed. I know there are some people out there with oily skin who think that skin oils and moisturisers are not to be used, and obviously that is a huge mistake. That's not something you're meant to avoid. But I am not someone who used to moisturise my body, as my skin was oily, not on my body, but my skin was pretty hydrated and moisturised naturally, I guess. I don't know how to explain it. It wasn't dry, is what I'm trying to say. And I feel like anyone out there with naturally dry skin, you were probably in the habit of moisturising, but for someone like me, I didn't really feel the need to moisturise my body. And of course, in the past year, it is a habit that I picked up and a habit that I'm going to stick with, because I think it's actually a really good thing just to keep my skin nice and soft and also help with all over body anti-aging, as well as on my face as well. Because as I sit down to film this, I'm about to turn 29. My birthday's in a couple of days' time, and I think that moisturising obviously does help with the anti-aging and just keeping skin in good nick as well. And it's certainly not a habit that would have formed or stuck around if not for the Accutane. Number 3 is my increased sunscreen habits and general sun protection. So I'm clearly a bit of a pale person. I have always been pretty good in the sun, trying to wear sunscreen on my face most days. I used to think I wore it every day, but really I truly only buckled down on that when I took Accutane, because I knew the sun exposure was so dangerous. And I really improved my habits with putting it on my hands and my body, my neck, and anywhere that was exposed. Another thing as well, I never used to be in the habit of wearing sunglasses until the past year. And I know that's a bit of a weird one. A lot of people wear sunnies. I think for me it's because I wear glasses a lot of the time and it's kind of annoying to swap them around. I find it a bit easier on days like today when I'm wearing contacts, but I know for certain in this past year I've really turned a corner on wearing my sunnies almost all the time when I'm outside, and certainly wearing things like hats a lot more. Number 4 was kind of one of those positive side effects, and that was the fact that I never had to wash my hair. Now I do bleach my hair, so it's drier than the average person's, and typically I wash my hair once a week. I used to do that before Accutane, and I'm back in that habit now. But in the past year, being on Accutane, I would push it out a lot longer, just because my hair didn't need to be washed. And I know this might freak some people out, but if the hair doesn't get oily or dirty, I just don't see the sense in washing it. I mean, now again, I wash my hair once a week when it needs, but back on Accutane, I can't believe I'm about to say this, I'd go 3 to 4 weeks, sometimes between washes. Obviously I would wash it if I swam and needed to wash my hair out, or if something got in my hair, or it got dirty or smelt, or I mean, my hair never smelt, but if I needed to wash it, I would wash it. I don't want to make it confusing here, but I didn't need to wash it that often. It just wasn't oily, it wasn't dirty, and I made sure I still put moisturizers and oils in, like the ends and all through my hair, but it just didn't need to be washed. So I feel like I saved a lot of time. That's kind of a bonus one. Obviously I was saving time by not putting on makeup or spending as much time doing skincare, and I certainly saved a lot of time on my hair because I'd wash it when I needed and style it, and then it would be good to go for a couple weeks. So that was a really nice perk. Number 5 is a really simple one. I just found that I was drinking alcohol less. So this is something that I really tried to do at the start. I didn't think I was going to go a whole year without drinking, but certainly I was very restrictive on my drinking, and on times where I would want to have a few more drinks, I would skip the pill, but for the most part I just reduced the amount that I used to drink, and I think that was a really nice thing. It was good for my mental health and also my physical health, I'm sure, to have a little bit less alcohol each week for a good couple months. And I might have even had like 2 months maybe where I didn't drink at all at the start. I was really focused at the start, in case you can't tell. I mean, I was getting blood tests in between each appointment with my dermatologist, and over time found that my liver wasn't really affected by minimal drinking, so I did indulge every now and then. But certainly it was a good cause for me to try and drink a little bit less, and obviously that did in turn save me a bit of money. That's a small one, so it's not on the list because I can't say I saved money on alcohol or makeup for that matter, since the pill is kind of expensive, but certainly I did drink a lot less, and I think that really helped out my health a little bit, considering I was introducing something else into the mix. Maybe it leveled out, but obviously trying to cut down on drinking a little bit can be quite nice every now and then. And I know for a fact that taking Accutane was the catalyst for that. Number 6 was investing more time and effort into my mental health and self-care. So this again kind of stems from potential negative side effects. I feel like hearing about Accutane and mental health struggles go hand in hand, as it's kind of a negative side effect. Some people speak about getting really bad depression and purely just getting that from the drug. Now, as someone who has had issues or still has issues with depression and anxiety, which I do get treatment for, I was very cautious about taking Accutane, and to be honest, that's the reason why I didn't start a lot sooner. But I found by taking the medication, continuing with my plan on my antidepressants, and doing therapy on and off, plus putting in effort myself, and I think that this is something that anybody can do, really trying to make sure I focused on self-care and talking to people, because I was prepared that maybe I would feel a bit down, although in the end I don't think it did affect me mentally, but I think I also took the steps to try and make sure that I was in a good headspace to try and avoid any potential negativity there. I can't really say for sure whether I was affected and didn't notice, or if I just didn't get that side effect. But for sure, I did focus a lot more on myself, my happiness, and my own wellness, and of course I'm a lot happier for it. Number 7 was a more simplified skincare routine. Obviously, by the fact that I didn't need to do any treatments to dry out my skin or take care of any breakouts, that saved me a bit of time and product usage. But because the skin is on the more dry side and sensitive, I was really limited in what I could use and what I wanted to use, and I really enjoyed using a simple routine because in the past I used so many things. I needed a lot of things in my arsenal to try and keep my skin looking at its best as I could before Accutane, but I really found that I saved a lot of time and enjoyed finding a few key products that I loved while on Accutane just to keep my skin moisturized and kind of at a standard level, because obviously the medication was working from the inside out, but I think that is something I want to keep up with because I found such enjoyment in it. And I think that as I move more into using less products and things, which I don't think is something I've spoken about too much on my channel, but I am really trying to limit the things that I own and use. I think that that was a nice starting point for me to realize I don't need to have every single product under the sun. I have a few things that I like and will still dabble here and there and try new things, but for the most part I really want to keep it simple because that seemed to work out so well for my skin then and now as well. The 8th benefit is kind of a silly one and not one if I'm really sure exists or not. I'll explain. Number 8 is the Accutane nose job. Now this is not something that I noticed at first or something that I really heard of myself when doing any of my Accutane research. It was something that my sister asked me about recently. She said, "Did your nose get smaller on Accutane?" And I thought that's very weird. Why would she say that? She'd seen something on TikTok or a few TikToks about people saying that their noses got smaller. And I don't know, am I crazy? I look at pictures then and now and kind of see it. I think that probably the cause is not the nose shrinking, but perhaps just inflammation all over the face shrinking, and maybe it's more noticeable on the nose. I'll put up pictures side by side. Now for me, and I don't actually know how often people get this, breakouts on the nose and puffiness there, I never had breakouts there. It was all here, and while in general my skin is smoother, I just think my nose does maybe look a little bit smaller, but maybe that's just underlying inflammation going. I feel like that's the only thing that makes sense. But yeah, this benefit is more of just a silly one, but I think now looking at pictures, because I did pull them up when I made this list, I kind of see it. What do you think? But now that wraps up my list for 8 benefits that I got from Accutane apart from clear skin. I'm going to be wrapping up the video here and I'm going to go and drink some water and moisturize. I'd suggest you do the same. Before I go, I just wanted to thank you so much for watching. I really hope you enjoyed this one. Please give me a thumbs up if you did and subscribe if you haven't already. But like I said, I will be leaving you here and hopefully I'll see you next time. Bye!